What's up, Transit? Happy snow day. We cannot believe that this is happening, but we didn't want you to miss out on Transit, so we thought that we would bring Transit to you at home during your snow day. Of a series that we're calling I'm Fine, where we're talking all about emotions and how to deal with emotions. We're trying to deal with happy emotions, sad emotions, small emotions, big emotions, and I have all sorts of emotions when I think about this snow day. But another really interesting thing about emotions is that typically emotions are affected by other people. Let me tell you what I mean. If someone were to show up right now and hand me a frosted blueberry Pop-Tart, I would be really excited because of the decision of a different person. So it works like that, but it also works a little bit differently. I don't know about you, but when I was in middle school and I found out that there were some people saying mean things about me behind my back, it made me feel really sad and really isolated. And maybe for you, you have an annoying sibling, and when they're being loud and crazy, you feel super annoyed. Or maybe it's a little bit bigger than that. Maybe in the past couple of months, there's been someone in your life who's really hurt you. Maybe there's been someone who's walked out on you. Maybe there's something going on at school and you're feeling isolated. Or maybe you're feeling betrayed. Or maybe you're feeling super, super hurt because of what someone else has done to you. And that's really hard. And so today we want to ask you the question, what do you do when someone hurts you? What is your response when somebody does something to you that makes you feel really big, really negative emotions? I know if you're like most people, what you are tempted to do is to maybe get back at them. Like if someone says something mean about you, you're gonna say something mean about them. Or if someone annoys you, you're gonna annoy them. I know growing up, when my brothers did anything bad to me, I would just tell on them. I couldn't really get back at them in that way, but I wanted to get back at them in some sort of way, so I would just tell my parents, or I would do something to hurt them. Because the truth is, when you're hurt, your typical response is to hurt them in return. And I want to show you what I mean. And typically on a Sunday, we have this big screen that we use, but because it's snow day, we don't have that. But I do have something that's going to help me prove my point. Come on in, come on in. All right, these are my slides. So here's a hurt person, and this is a regular person. And when this hurt person hurts this person, next slide, then this person becomes a hurt person. And then the cycle continues because hurt people, and it continues and continues, but it doesn't really have to be that way. Thank you. I like your coat. That's nice. It doesn't have to be that way. There's a guy named Paul who writes a bunch of letters to different people, and we're gonna look at this letter that is called Ephesians. So we're gonna be in Ephesians 4, and Paul is writing to a bunch of people, and in this time, people are getting really hurt. They're being persecuted. They're being isolated. And so Paul explains how not to respond, but also he explains how we should respond. So Ephesians 4:29 says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice." So some of these words are familiar to us. We know what bitterness is, we know what rage is, we know what anger is, but brawling basically just means fighting. It even means yelling at somebody. And slander means words that tear somebody down. So gossip, being mean, bullying, and then malice simply just means meanness. So Paul is saying here, hey, get rid of all of those things. Even when people hurt you, these are the ways that you shouldn't respond. But Paul goes on to explain how we should respond. He says this, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as in Christ God forgave you." This is really cool because Paul is actually saying, hey, here's why we should forgive each other. He's saying because Jesus forgave you, we in turn should forgive each other. No matter how people have made us feel, because Jesus forgave you, we should forgive each other. And that's hard because our natural tendency, like I said, is to want to get back at people. Hurt people, but forgiveness is what breaks that cycle. Just because someone hurt you doesn't mean you have to get back at them. Because we are forgiven, we can forgive. In another letter, Paul even says, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us, meaning even when we were still hurting God, he didn't decide to get back at us. He decided to send his son and to forgive us. And because of that, we can forgive the people around us. Now, I don't want you to just brush off hard emotions. I don't want you to just ignore them. We need to feel the things that we feel because a lot of times it's hurtful and it's super legitimate and we need to feel them, but that doesn't mean that we need to get back at people. That doesn't mean we need to get revenge on people. In fact, we can deal with our own emotions while still forgiving the people that made us feel that way. So here in Transit, we want you to have incredible relationships. We want you to have great relationships with your small group leaders. We want you to have great relationships with the people in your small group. So even though it's a snow day, I don't want you to stop and not talk about this. So get out your phone, find your mom's phone, find a landline if that exists, which probably doesn't. And I want you to reach out to your small group and I want you to answer this question. How did you feel the last time somebody hurt you? We love you guys. We'll see you next week and happy snow day.